This is very interesting and beautiful cast on that is good for decorative purposes of your project. So the name of this cast on is Pico Chain Cast On, or sometimes it's called Lace Cast On. And it's very easy, and what you're actually doing with this, you're going to make this cord which is flat. It's the same on each side, so if you turn you see that it's exactly the same on this side and this side. And then we will pick up stitches on the back to continue our knitting. So let me begin with explanation of how to do this little braid. So first you do slip stitch and you make another stitch. So you basically cast on 2 stitches. That's what you need to do. Here's my second needle. And what the process is, it's actually very, very easy because you're going to do the same thing over and over again. Every row is the same. You take your needle, right needle, go under the yarn. This way you make a yarn over. You then go into the next stitch as of to purl, slip this stitch, and the only stitch you're going to knit is the last one. So you knit that, and with your left needle you go into the middle stitch, lift it up a little bit and go over the last stitch, cast off that stitch. So you now have 2 stitches again. You turn your work as you usually do when you knit, and you're doing the same thing again. You go in under, make that yarn over, you go into the stitch, slip it, knit the next one, go into the middle stitch, lift and pass it over the last one, 2 stitches, turn one more time. We have yarn over the needle, we have next stitch slipped as if to purl, knit next stitch, with left needle go into the middle stitch, lift it up a little bit, pass it over the last one. And as you go, you continue doing this. And let's go back to our more progressed chain. It's right here. And when you see that Lacy arcs here on each side, those are the yarn overs that you are doing, and the slip stitches are right there in the middle. When you get to the length of your flat cord that you're making, equal to the length of your cast on circumference, either it's for hat or for hem of the sweater, whatever you're doing there, this is the length. You are done with that. Then the very last row that you are doing, you're going to end up with 1 stitch only there because you will not make the yarn over. Let me show that. I will undo this 1 stitch and I'll show you what I mean. So here we have these 2 stitches that we finished with, as usually. We turn our work, and what I usually do is I go under the yarn, go into the stitch, and I have that yarn over saved, so I knit the next one. For this time, because this is the last one, I'm going to take that yarn and just bring it between the stitches so I don't have the yarn over. See, there's nothing here. So that's our first stitch that I slipped. The next one I'm going to knit, and I only have 2 to work with instead of 3, but I will be also lifting the first one and passing over the second. Oops, if I can do that. Let me try again. Here we go. And I have 1 stitch left. So now this is flat cord that I want to preserve, and my knitting begins from stitches that I will pick up on the back of it. So when I turn my cord, I see bumps here, and each bump has 2 wraps there. So I have 1 right there, and then I have a second one. So if you look closely, you will see that there are 2 of them. So you go into the first one right there, and you take yarn through it. You go to the next one, and again, out of 2, you pick up 1, you knit through that, and you got your next stitch. And you keep all your stitches because that's what you're going to work with from now on. So again, you go through that wrap and pick up the stitch. So here's the next one. And the next one. And so on. So you have both edges preserved. If you carefully, if you turn, you see that you have both edges of that cord that you made preserved, and your stitches are right there on the back. And you start knitting that. So if I don't continue that, but I just go back and purl these stitches so you could see a little bit more the distinction there. So let me see. Purl all of them. The last one knit. I usually do that. And when you look again here, what you see is the cord, and then you see that fabric coming out there, and it makes it really very beautiful cast on.